Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Radical Racing Challenge for the penultimate round of the last season here in 2022 here at Bathurst. And this track is known for being one of the most difficult on all of iRacing. It requires a different level of skill, and I'm sure some of our drivers here tonight will be experiencing a few walls potentially, but we will find out. I am your commentator, Aaron Smith. I'm alone for today, and in the production booth we have Samuli Kumo. He's gonna be doing an absolutely superb job for me today as I solo this commentary. It's going to be very exciting for everyone, and I believe this will be an absolutely fantastic race. More so the fact that Bathurst just provides that different level of racing that you don't really get anywhere else. But I believe these drivers will be pushing to the limit as they are in qualifying right now. Michael Bell, your current provisional pole sitter, around 0.3 of a second ahead of Nacho Salas in second place. The field at the moment is pretty spread out. We've only got 14 cars who have actually set a lap, but overall we have 17 drivers here today. 3 drivers have not set a lap at the moment, but we have about another minute left to go. Lap times should be around the 2-minute mark, as Woodward down in 13th place, setting a 2-minute 0.04 lap time. Not the best lap time, putting him in 13th place. Just ahead of him we have Josh Brain, who is about 1/10 of a second ahead of him. We have field incredibly spread out today, and you often get that at Bathurst as the different levels of skill required, especially in a car like this, which tends to understeer, is not really what you want around here. As you know, if you can't get the car turned in, you will just go straight into a barrier, especially through that middle section, coming back down the hill, understeering into a wall. And this car is so sensitive to damage. If you mess it up, well, it's game over. But that's it for qualifying. Only, as I was saying, only 14 drivers setting a actual lap time. Very shocking, as you'd think qualifying would be incredibly important around here, but nevertheless, Michael Bell is your pole sitter, Nacho Salas in second place, Rafael Blanco in third, Chris Redman in fourth, Ruben Valdez in fifth, Adfolo Ubanyo in sixth, Mark Neumenko in seventh, Michael Doring in eighth, Kenji Murata in 9th, Rince Hostin in 10th, John Peter Rund in 11th, Josh Brain down in 12th position. Then we have Robert Woodward in 13th, Darwin Romero in 14th, and then your 3 drivers who did not set a lap time: Johannes Hesterman in 15th, Nathan Nicholson in 16th, and Tom Dorillo in 17th place. And it'd be interesting to see what some of these drivers will do from the back of the grid, as the likes of Nathan Nicholson, fairly quick guy, and surprised he wouldn't have set a lap time. As I was saying, it is incredibly important qualifying round here, as it's not incredibly easy to overtake, but nevertheless these drivers are going to give it their best shot and probably most likely kill each other in the process. But we have 11 laps here, as we've got about another 30 seconds until the lights go out, unless everyone decides to grid up before we get going. Maybe some drivers choosing to start from the pit lane might be a better choice, since lap 1 might be a little bit chaotic around here. Going up the hill, that first sector shouldn't be too bad, but the second sector is where everyone just needs to stay calm, get through, and not kill each other, as 11th and 12th we're waiting for right now. Think they might be starting from the pit lane, as they have not joined us on the grid. But we are now getting ready to go. It's 5 lights here at Bathurst, and we are lights out, and away you go. Bell did not get off to a fantastic start. Look at Blanco, already off to a superb start. He leads into turn 1. Fantastic start from 3rd to 1st. And your pole sitter not getting a very good start. And I think that's going to really hurt him, as Nacho Salas now comes back at Rafael Blanco on the run down to turn 2. they're going side by side, but I think Blanco's just going to stay ahead. And yeah, Salas just staying behind. And he's got to play this smart. These guys at the top are in a league of their own at the moment, and Michael Bell surely going to be very frustrated losing that first place in third now. As Mark Neumann-Menko in 5th place right now. He's up 2 places from 7th. Decent start from everyone. I don't think we've had any incidents at the moment. I think Josh Brain and John Peter Rund might have had an incident. But my bad, they did start from the pit lane. And that explains why they are so far down the field. But at the moment, apart from them, everyone getting away cleanly without incidents so far. And that's Darwin Romero trying to have a look at Woodward in front of him for 10th place. And just behind him is Nathan Nicholson. And now Salas falling down to 3rd behind Bell now as he tries to come back at him all the way down this straight. And that's Valdez, my apologies, the battle for 3rd actually. Very hard to keep a track of, but Valdez just gonna lock a brake up and he goes off into the grass. Didn't really think the move was on round the outside, especially on lap 1 with these cold brakes and tyres. And that mistake is going to cost him, as we have heard from drivers before that the tyres in this car, if you lock a brake, it's game over for a few laps at least. And Robert Woodward now slipping behind Romero, who actually did get past him eventually. And now Nathan Nicholson is also trying to make a move on Woodward. We'll see what he can do. The Delta Sports driver sitting comfortably at the moment in 12th place, up a few positions where he started from. But Nacho Salas just trying to keep a hold of the cars behind as Neumann-Menko making his way up into 4th as well. And Michael Doring, I think, has had an incident somewhere. I'm not quite sure what's happened to him, but a lot of these midfield positions, especially from 3rd downwards, really scrapping early, which is surprising, but kind of not at the same time. These guys do want to get past each other quick, as it's difficult to tell, especially around a track like this, who is quicker, since the draft is just so strong in these cars. And we'll see what these guys can do. But Valdez now in 8th place, now trying to look at Rins Horston in front of him. Valdez down 3 places from 5th. And we'll see what he can do down this straight. As I said before, the draft is incredibly powerful. He's just got to tuck in behind, but going for a move around the outside like he did on the lap before may not work, but he's going to have to try at least. He's already a full car ahead. And I wonder, is that Horston trying to play a little bit of mind games? But no, I think he did just not want to fight him. I thought maybe he'd try and come back at him in the braking zone, but was just playing fair and lets Valdez pass. As I do believe Valdez is the quicker driver at this current moment. And he is up back into 7th place. Still got a little bit way to go before he makes his way back into 5th. But Rafael Blanco then sets a fastest lap of a 57.9 in the lead. Darwin Romeo at the moment we are watching, trying to defend from... trying to attack Horston, who's looking a bit slow, actually, on that last lap. And I wonder, is he in a place where he realistically shouldn't be? A bit too far up the grid, but nevertheless, Romero is going to pull alongside down to turn 2. Probably already got the move done. He has. Horston being very fair and very respectful in his movements at the moment, which you always love to see. Drivers giving a little bit extra room to each other. Nice clean racing. There's a little bit of a lock up from Romero in front of him. But now Woodward even on the back of Horston, only about a tenth or 2 behind. And Horston really struggling at the moment. I mean, considering he had a really good start and getting very close to the wall there, he really is struggling. I wonder if he might have damage, but yeah, Woodward better not go for a move during this middle part, as there's Romero locking up again in front. Yeah, I wonder if Horston maybe is just struggling at the moment, or maybe has a slight bit of damage. as he's struggling a lot. And there's another lockup for Romero in front. He needs to keep those front brakes in check, otherwise he will be suffering from a butt-ton of understeer. But Mark Nuamenko trying to defend from Redman, who is trying to move himself up into 4th place. Redman having a not a fantastic start, but he's going to try and get himself back into 4th. And there's a little bit of contact, and Chris Redman is sent round. A little bit of an optimistic move, but I don't think Nuamenko left him enough space. And now his start goes from bad to worse as Michael Bell sets a new fastest lap, 0.4 of a second quicker than Blanco in front. But that is absolutely rotten luck for Redman. I think Nuamenko just squeezed him out and didn't leave him enough space. And I imagine he's pretty fuming right now, and we'll see what he can do down in 12th place. But now this is the battle for the lead. Michael Bell looking very speedy at the moment. Of course, this man did start the race from 1st place and was 0.3 of a second quicker than anyone else. And I think Blanco just struggling now as he goes very, very wide into turn 4. And now is going to get a really poor exit out of here, which is going to allow Bell to stick behind as Bell gets all loose through the middle sector. And it is pretty difficult to follow a car through here as you are overspeeding and also in the dirty air. And Michael Bell, I think, might just have the pace advantage at the moment over Blanco. And I think Blanco is starting to feel the pressure a little bit, as we saw back in turn 4. He did make that crucial mistake, which cost him a few tenths. But we'll see what Michael Bell can do here. He takes the wider line, trying to get a better exit. It did cost him on entry, though. Cost him about 0.05 of a second. But now he does have the slipstream. I think he might be a little bit too far back to make a move. But that gap is coming down, and it's coming down fast, as he might actually be able to go for a move here. He is going to go for a move into the penultimate corner. He goes for it and is on the grass, messes it all up, and that's going to allow Blanco to cruise along through, and is now 1.5 seconds in the lead. And that was a crucial mistake by Michael Bell. That might have just cost him the race win. There's incidents all over the place. I think that's Horstenhoff. There's a really... I think some of these guys are really struggling to make overtakes into that penultimate corner. It is quite difficult to get on those brakes at the right time. You want to obviously outbrake your opponent, but you leave it a tiny bit too late and pinch yourself on the inside, you're going to end up running wide, hitting that curb, and mess your race up completely. And I do believe Bell has made a crucial mistake for that lead of the race. I thought he got the move done, but nevertheless, Valdez now trying to make a move on Urban Arunborough in 5th place. The number 13 driver doing pretty well, considering his iRacing gaining a hefty amount, plus 64 at the moment. And I'm sure he will enjoy that big chunk of iRacing. As you can see, the different levels of iRacing. He is one of the lower rated drivers at the moment, but is sitting nicely in 5th place. And your lowest iRacing driver, 2.6k, as the strength of field is 3.4. Pretty decent for today's field, as we've got drivers with iRatings all over the place. My apologies, actually, Nuamenko 2.4 is actually your lowest. And he's doing even better. He's sitting comfortably in 4th place. He should be proud of himself, or maybe he just gained that more iRating to better reflect his own skill. And it's not like he's had any luck or anything. He's deserved that 4th place. Maybe a little bit too aggressive on Redman, but at the moment has shown some pretty good pace and is comfortably in 4th place, but will have to worry about the 2 drivers behind him who are on a charge at the moment, and I'm sure within the next lap or 2 will be on his backside. As the battle for 13th now between John Peter Rund and Derillo. And yeah, Rund making himself useful up into 13th place. Seeing battles all over the place, and Bell at the top, as you can see, setting another fastest lap. He's going to have to be pushing like crazy, as we have only got around 6 laps to go in this race. And he's not got much time. He's going to have to really push. Once he gets in the slipstream, it should be made a little bit easier. But I do think that mistake might have cost him the race win. And through the first sector, they're pretty much even at the moment. Bell a little bit slower. And through the second sector, Bell again slower. So maybe Blanco just starting to pick up the pace a little bit and thinking, oh, he might be a little bit quicker, but I'm going to have to push like hell if I'm going to want to win this race. And we see through the third sector, oh, that's a hefty chunk. 0.2 of a second from Bell. I think that is where Bell is stronger. You do have to have balls of steel to go through there, as another 800's taken out of Blanco's lead. And I think Bell might just about be in the slipstream. It is just, I mean, the slipstream here in these cars is about 1.2 seconds, give or take. And it is very weak at 1.2 seconds, but nevertheless, it does give you a little bit of a boost down the straight. As you can see from the time, yeah, 1/10 of a second down that straight. That's all it took. And the gap is now at 0.8. As when he comes around the final corner, there will be 5 laps left. And I'm not sure who's going to be able to win. I think Blanco has the consistency to do it. As Nguyen losing out to Arenburo for 4th place. As Redman getting himself involved in more incidents. As he has fallen behind everyone now. He's in last place, but overtakes the man who I believe he had an incident with, Murata. And that's Nathan Nicholson round at the final corner. Incidents are plenty on this lap. I think he may have lost it himself on the exit of the final corner, as it's very easy to do. But we will check a replay of what happened to Chris Redman. He's had his fair share of incidents today, it's fair to say. Just gets the braking all wrong. And Murata just didn't really have anywhere to go, unfortunate for him. And Redman just locking his rears, trying to avoid the car in front. And a real shame for him. He could have done so much in this race, but same for Nathan Nicholson. He's had some decent pace in this race, but just doesn't have the consistency to match. And I do believe he just made that mistake all by himself. But Darwin Romero then in 7th place, up 7 positions. Your highest mover so far in this race, closely followed by Dorillo in 11th and Hesterman in 9th. They're both up 6 places each. But Romero up 7 places from 14th on the grid, starting in last out of all the people that actually set a time. So considering that he didn't have any place in qualifying, and that's Blanco round! I was just saying last lap that he had the consistency to win this race. And that's a commentator's curse if I've ever seen one in my life. Let's take a look at what happened to Blanco. And surely he just made a mistake all by himself. Yeah, as we go into the penultimate corner. Oh, completely loses it. A mid-corner. You gotta feel for the man. I mean, one commentator cursed him. Oh, man. I feel so bad. I apologise, Raphael. But you're still in 3rd place. Don't give up. You've still got a few laps to go. Just hold on. You've got this. Don't you worry, my friend. You've got some cars battling behind you. And that's Arenbo trying to defend from Valdez. And Nguyen falling behind these two now in 6th place. As these two Iberian drivers, Valdez and... they're both just having the pretty good pace, but I wonder if they'll be able to catch Blanco, who has obviously made that mistake, and his tyres will be absolutely shot now. But we'll see what these guys can do, whether they'll work together or not. It is up to them now, whether they want to get on the podium. The gap is around a second, and they've got about 3 or 4 laps to go, and that's Nathan Nicholson falling down to last as another mistake from the USA driver. Really unfortunate race for him. He's going to be losing a little chunk of iRacing, and that will not do him any good. think he might have just a tiny bit of damage as his car looked to be crabbing all over the place. But nevertheless, the two Iberian drivers of Valdez and Arumbo now trying to battle it out. I thought that they would maybe work together. And look at them going 3 wide nearly. Oh, and number 13 looking in all wrong, and they hit each other. And I said they should have worked together. And the two Iberian drivers crashing into each other and allowing Nurmenko all the way through into 4th place. And that's such a shame. These guys were having such a spectacular battle. And that's Valdez all the way down in 7th. Arubo only suffered 1 position loss. And I think Murata has had an incident down in last. But we'll take a replay of that. They went 3 wide, and yeah, the number 13 just gets it all wrong. Nurmenko very lucky to get away with no damage. He did stick it up there to make it very wide, very aggressive from him, who kind of forced the number 13 to make an error. And yeah, that was very close for Nurmenko. And he's very fortunate to not have any damage. But now Horston trying to come back from his earlier mistake. Same for Chris Redman, who seems to be struggling ever more. Going all the way out to the marbles, and Josh Brain just hanging on, waiting for these guys, seeing if they'll make any mistakes. I don't think Josh quite has the pace to keep up with these two. Yeah, incidents are plenty here at Bathurst, as we expected. I mean, one of the most incident-heavy tracks, I think, in all of motorsport. But we'll see what Chris Redman can do. Is he going to send it in to this next corner? He thinks about it, but thinks better of it and just sits behind Horston. He's not got long to wait until that long back straight, where he will surely be able to get past. He does look a little bit quicker than Horston right now. Redman taking a little wider line to try and get a better exit. And he will have to draft all the way down this straight, and I think he might just be able to catch it at the end. And yes, the gap is coming down extremely quickly. Look how powerful that draft is. It's incredibly powerful. He's already ahead of Horston. And Horston, as we've seen before, is a very fair driver, lets Redman through. I think he understands he is the quicker driver. And Horston really being very respectful tonight, but maybe a little bit too respectful. And yeah, all the way down into 15 for me. Not what he wanted. But Valdez, a man who will be fairly disappointed, fighting all the way up in 4th place, now fighting for 7th place. He's got Hesterman and Woodward and Rund all the way behind him. Look at this train. I think this is going to be the battle to watch until the end. And I think Blanco has made another mistake, I believe. And that's Nurmenko up into the podium positions. It's been an absolute dream for Nurmenko. And let's take a look at what happened to Blanco. We've seen Blanco go wide into this next corner before, when he was fighting for the lead. And oh, yep, just gets it completely wrong. Not been the best of days from Blanco. It's gone from absolutely amazing at the start to a pretty disappointing result so far. Let's see if he can get past Nurmenko. He's got about half a second to play with, but I think Mark will try and hold on for dear life for that podium, as he's gaining 100 iRating if he does finish in 3rd place, and that will put a pretty smile on Nurmenko's face, and it will be an absolutely superb result for him if he does. But Blanco is quick, we know that, but it doesn't seem like he has the consistency. It's white flag for Michael Bell in the lead of the race at the moment. And look at Blanco, look how much quicker he is than Nurmenko on the exit of that penultimate corner. As we come around the final corner now, he moves himself up into 3rd. Goes a little bit wide, and Mark is going to overtake him again as they come across the line almost side by side. And Blanco now really does have to play his cards right. He's not been very smart this race, and he'll be bitterly disappointed with how he's handled this so far. But he's going to pull alongside Nurmenko. He's just about ahead. Only just though, but has the outside line for this corner. Can Nuanmenko defend into turn 2? He's going to give it his best shot. Gets a little bit slippery under braking and moves ahead of Rafael Blanco. Mark Nuanmenko doing an absolutely superb job at the moment to hold on to 3rd place. Can you blame the guy? He's putting on an absolutely stonking performance. And I'm not sure that Blanco really has the right mindset to get past. He's not had it all race. It's a bit of a shame, to be honest. He could have easily won this race with Michael Bell making that crucial mistake earlier on. And speaking of Michael Bell, well, can't really fault him today, apart from maybe that one mistake that he made trying to overtake Blanco. But apart from that, qualifying, got pole, slipped down to 3rd, overtook everyone again, albeit with a little bit of a mistake. And yeah, he's been pretty dominant so far, and it's good to see him back on the top step. A well-deserved victory, I'd say, today. He's been no doubt the quickest driver. Last lap he was 0.6 of a second quicker than anyone else. But as we cut back to this battle for 3rd place, Blanco now has the inside line for this corner. But is Nuanmenko going to try and get a better exit? He gets a better exit again. It seems like Nuanmenko just seems to have that better exit than Nuanmenko, but he's going to cover the inside. I'm not sure this is the play from Blanco. And Nuanmenko going to have an absolutely amazing exit, but I don't think it's going to quite be for Nuanmenko. He just misses out on a podium. These guys gave us an absolutely amazing fight on the last lap. Blanco finishing where he started, but Michael Bell, your race winner today. Absolutely amazing performance by him. Obviously not perfect, but it was better than everyone else on the grid, and that's why he finishes in the #1 place here at Bathurst. He wins his home race. I mean, what more can you say from the guy? Absolutely amazing performance. Salas having a pretty quiet race, actually. Didn't really mention him all race. He comes home in 2nd place from where he started as well. But Rafael Blanco, the one to talk about after today. Very, very disappointing. Could have easily won this race, and instead only just finishing on the podium. Nuanmenko shouldn't be too disappointed with himself. It was an absolutely amazing performance by him. But wow, a lot better race than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a pretty boring race, since not really that many places to overtake here at Bathurst, and I wonder if we'll see any of our drivers doing the jump. We'll wait and see. But yeah, Michael Bell, not too bad performance from him, I'd say. The #3 Australian, and yeah, they're currently discussing in-game chat if they should do the jump or not. I would. It's kind of tradition here at Bathurst. You have to do the jump. Come on, lads. I can't wait. Yep, I think Michael Bell and everyone behind him is going to do the jump. As we wait and see who will get over the barriers. I'm going to predict that all 4 of these guys actually make it through. Let's wait and find out, as they're even battling to see who gets there first. Come on, Michael. Get over the wall. You can do it. Oh, and he goes over. Oh, and that's a hefty crash. No one actually landed it properly. In the background, one of the cars absolutely... Hey, he stuck the landing. Josh Brain just about stuck the landing. Ah, you gotta love Bathurst. It's a track like no other. Australia in a nutshell. Pretty much absolutely amazing. They do things differently, and it's absolutely entertaining to watch. Michael Bell, your race winner. The Aussie taking the victory here round Bathurst. Nacho Salas in 2nd place. Pretty lowly race for him. Not really mentioned him at all, but nevertheless, a good result. Rafael Blanco, a very disappointing 3rd for him. Mark Nuanmenko in 4th. Very good result for him. Adolfo Urubo in 5th place. Darwin Romero in 6th. Ruben Valdez in 7th place. Johannes Hesterman in 8th. Robert Woodward in 9th place. John Peter Rund in 10th. Tom Dorillo in 11th. Chris Redman, also one of the more disappointing drivers today, started in 4th place. Not quite sure what happened with his car the whole time. Just kind of kept making mistakes and getting involved in incidents, but hey ho. Move on to the next one. Josh Brain in 13th, Horston in 14th, Nathan Nicholson making plenty of mistakes down in 15th, and the car that was a lap down, Murata, and your only non-finisher of today, Michael Doring, having an incident, which we did not see, unfortunately. Pretty sure he probably just binned it into the wall somewhere, as that's very traditional here at Bathurst, to bin it into a wall. Many people have done it, including myself. It's very easy to make the mistake. But Bathurst never seems to disappoint, does it? An absolutely spectacular race. I mean, even though I did think it was boring, I thought it was going to be boring, but it wasn't. So, well done, Bathurst. You've done it again, and we will surely want to be returning to this place at some point. But next week, we head to the Nordschleife, as is tradition here in the Radicals in iRacing. It's very traditional to head to the Nordschleife for the final round, and this season is no different. And that race is going to be even more chaotic than this one, as the Nordschleife, not sure if you've heard of it, it's an absolutely just ridiculous track and the most outdated thing in the world. But we're going to jump forward to next week. I've been your host, Aaron Smith, and I've been joined by Samuli Kumo in the production booth, and it's been a pleasure to commentate over this race for you all. And I hope all of you have a good evening, and we'll see you all for next week for the final round of Radicals.